The manner in which the Union bushwhacked me at the Safeway, pertaining to their interrogation of their claims, proves, certifies certainly, that I deserve to win my lawsuit against the government. For one thing, the evil people behind this con job by the AIDS attackers, who call themselves things like Zionist Christians, are not entitled to a single word of what went on with me when I was 15 years old. There's no necessary information, and there's nothing sufficient to compel intelligence in the matter. I was in a fog, the whole point of which was summarized with me crying on an abusive adult's couch as I read Carry On Wayward Son. Their insane asylum in Pittsburgh authored a script, and they would have it in Seattle that the person who everyone knows is not the person in reality. The person in reality is the person in the script. And you have these cackling Jewesses saying, his grandmother wouldn't like it. She'd be embarrassed if she heard he had an abortion. They claim that I authored a persona. This is one of the implications of Pope Carl's claim to constructing a persona. He used to say snide things like, Jimmy's going to perform for us. What that means is I learned dog behavior as a captured juvenile being slaughtered. How to smile and not get beaten up by adopting a self-caricature. These were very, very cruel, parochial people. This is what they mean by a double or a persona. We're in the territory of holy war criminals. And they believe that man is meant to be burnt at the stake. And to prove them otherwise, they require that you be burnt at the stake. It's a mindset that has become an intellectual circus, a bonfire. It was built by George Bush and his fascist unions. And it has adopted a new confederacy that includes the desperation of the black man. One intelligent hombre once said, man lives in a state of quiet desperation. A contemporary of Steinbeck, I'm not sure who it was. But you can look it up by Googling that phrase. Blacks live in a slightly louder desperation. Zappa said necessity is the mother of invention. These are people, fascists, who believe that Auschwitz was built out of desperation. It wasn't. It was built out of the minds of the criminally insane, using authoritarianism to compel obedience and induce desperation. So the whole point of it is that the weapon itself was wrong, and these people were trying to justify it. It summarizes these tourniquets that they use. They creepily squeeze a neuroplasm that they impacted. They call it extrusion of information. And the psychotic legerdemain of diversion to change the subject from their failure to warn and their investment in pornographic genocide, their PEEP manufacture, the construction of a persona, to use their words. It's squeezing the neuroplasm, somebody with a head injury, an implant from a neuropsychiatrist from Attica State Prison. Talk about backstab from the Jericho Project. And they squeeze it and torture it and say, we want to know how you felt in the new school where people were jeering you after you had been kidnapped and put through a Manson ordeal. I'm not here to feed the mindset of people who are trivializing the information that I've reported.